Okay, so thank you and good afternoon, everybody. Oh, I'll have to be over this side. Well, that light's bright. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the enhancements to our network and security that we have done within Britannic. So over the past few years, we've invested heavily as a company in our people, and resources and technology and our partnerships to really build out a very stable and highly governed network and security practice. And so we're really now at a point where we can deliver that end-to-end secure networking for customers. So at Britannic, we kind of think of it now more as a triad. So when it comes to networking and security, so you've got the perimeter, the bit on the outside, that you're protecting, you don't want anyone to come in. And then you've got the inside, which is, where we can then deploy the likes of Acronis Cyber Protect. And then you've got the public cloud. So most customers now have at least something in Microsoft 365 and those kind of things. So we brought in a tool called Enforcer, which helps with that governance. And then to protect the perimeter, we use the likes of FortiGate, which is next-gen firewalls, to be able to kind of use the tools within that, such as FortiGuard, Unified Threat Management, those kind of things. And then to protect even further outside, we use NetScout Arbor, which is a DDoS protection tool. So whether it's defending the perimeter, looking after the inside, or governing what goes on in the cloud, we can help you deliver that success within your organization. And we can build out with you that kind of fabric, that security fabric, to give you the resilience and the governance that you need. So let's start with the reality. Cybercrime is growing. It's growing fast. We've seen from our friends in the Met, a lot of the crimes that are being reported involve some kind of fraud, and mostly cyber. So they gave a really good indication of what happens when you become a victim of that, and the kind of things that they do in order to be able to bring those transgressors to justice. So ransomware costs businesses somewhere in the region of billions, and there's an attack every 39 seconds. And, they're becoming more sophisticated. We saw, there's websites where you can just go on, pay your subscription. We've all talked about, you could subscribe to Zoom or 8x8 and those kind of things. Well, now you could subscribe to one of those kind of websites. I wouldn't suggest it. But it's a very easy way now for those people to be able to become those bad actors and then attack and infiltrate your organization. So what we've built is that resilience against those hostile landscapes. So security is about business continuity, compliance, and trust. They're the three cornerstones of what we do. So let me give you a quick example of one that's happened very recently and is still in the news today. So a globally recognized vehicle manufacturer, they suffered from a major cyber incident, and that forced it basically to shut down. So it shut down its production lines and several factories in the UK. And in fact, yesterday it was announced that they told their supply chain, we'll just go and claim universal credit, if you can't work. So it has a huge impact, not just on your organization, but those people who also rely on you as an organization, your supply chain, and those kind of things. So the disruption that it caused was substantial. And it highlights that, even with the biggest and well-resourced organizations, they are still vulnerable to a breach. And it cascades again through operations, employees, compliance, obligations, and public confidence. And without that strong perimeter defense, without securing the border and allowing people to get in, they will gain entry. So that's why we've strengthened our capabilities within Britannic, to be able to help customers not fall foul to those kind of common mistakes of not protecting the perimeter implementing something inside the organization, and then looking at that governance and compliance within public cloud. So we've built our own dedicated security practice. We've strengthened our networking and NOC engineers to bring that kind of BAU to you. We've got security specialists to help manage those solutions. So for example, with the public cloud, we use Enforcer. That then allows us to have that governance around those policies. I'll talk about that in a little while. But together we can ensure that you and your supply chain can have confidence that you're supported 24/7. So we partnered with Fortinet to guard that perimeter. They're one of the leaders in the world in terms of that integrated network security. With FortiGate firewalls and FortiSwitches, FortiAPs, FortiGuard, all of those kind of services, we're able to bring that fabric-based security to you. So at the heart of it is the FortiGate series, the FortiGate next-gen firewalls. They're not just firewalls; they're really kind of security powerhouses that allow you to do routing and firewalling policies, but also has that unified threat management inbuilt within the device itself. So it's also able to give you SD-WAN functionality, which is an exciting topic on its own that I've talked about previously. But as I said, once you've got the FortiGates there guarding the perimeter, you want that then seamless infrastructure within your network. So layering that with FortiSwitches, FortiAPs, it means that your LAN and wireless have those kind of zero trust edge. But as we know with Jaguar Land Rover, they got in. They got through their perimeter and they got inside. So how can we help when someone does get inside? So we use Acronis Cyber Protect. It's not just about backup. It plays a crucial role within the enterprise. It has a single agent that goes on the devices, and that then allows you to do those kind of backups, allows you to protect using MDR, XDR, and those kind of things. It's AI-driven, so we talked about AI today. So it starts to learn your behavior. And for example, if Richard, that's a bad example, Richard's always sending emails. But if Richard were all of a sudden to be copying a file from OneDrive to somewhere else at 2 a.m., and he's never done that before, then it would pick up on that pattern of behavior and probably block that transfer from happening until it's then approved, because it learns the behavior of the user. And you can set some guidelines and policies around that. Oh, I've got 1.5 minutes left. Securing the network, securing the inside. We're also in that public cloud space, so we use Enforcer, which it integrates directly with Microsoft 365, and it is that enforcement layer across your Microsoft admin tenant. So from a single portal, we're able to review and manage configurations and policies within Entra, Exchange, and Intune, for example, with the added benefit of then being able to back it up before we do anything and then restore if the result isn't quite what we wanted. So, as I said, it gets rid of the risk around having to do those configurations every single time. You can set templates and build them out, and it enforces that governance at scale.
Hi Andy, sorry this is urgent and apologies for interrupting. I need you to log into Customer X's admin portal and create a new global admin user. If you can get an engineer to do that ASAP, as the customer is really desperate. The username should be Andy and the password 123. If you can send the password to the following address, cybermancyber.ru, again as a matter of urgency.
So, obviously this guy knows what he's talking about. I better do it. No. So we can do the perimeter, we can do the inside, and we can protect as much as we can. But as we've seen throughout the whole of today, people are still the weakest link. If we can remove people from the organization, it would be completely safe and secure because nothing then would get in. So we have to make sure that, so this isn't me, it's a deep fake that I made the other day. And I just wanted to demonstrate because, with phishing attacks on the increase, people can just clone my voice. People could clone Ross's voice at Trailfinders and say, oh, can you give Jonathan a massive refund on the holiday that he booked with you because you said it was okay. So you could do that quite easily. So one of the key things we can put in the technology, we can help you plan, we can help you prepare, we can even deliver that training. We have a great security training tool that we use within Britannic that we can then extend out to our customers. But don't short-circuit processes. Whatever the origin of that request, if it asks you to do something, there should be red flags that are going off.
Hi Andy, sorry this is urgent and apologies. Hi Andy, sorry that. Hi Andy.
Yeah, there should be red flags that go off, not just my voice all the time. And, so if it's asking you to bypass those kind of policies and procedures that you have in place, you can tell because there was urgency. Oh, this is urgent. I need you to do this urgently. It's a matter of urgency. I want you to send a global admin create a global admin user. Well, that surely would be outside of the normal change controls. So those kind of red flags, even if it's not me in a video that I made, but also, an email request that comes through or a voicemail that comes through asking you to do something that falls outside of your company's policies and procedures. Always question, always ask the questions. So, what does this all mean for our customers? It means resilience. Your networks stay up even when they're under attack because you will be attacked. There are maps out there from companies that show the information. They show all of the attacks that are going on at the moment in real time. So the likelihood is you will be attacked. What you need to do is have the defenses in place in order to be able to push back on that attack. So to sum up, Britannic is here. And we are a provider of the secure, resilient, future-ready networks with our people, our partnerships with Fortinet, Acronis, and NetScout, and Enforcer. We're ready to help you make sure that you don't get those attacks, or if you do, that there is mitigation against them. So, Michael is at the back. Michael will be happy to chat with anyone about any of this, as would I. I'm not just palming you off on him. But yes, there are people here in the room who would welcome the chance to talk to you more about cyber, your policies, your strategy, and most importantly, what value we can bring to you. Thank you very much.